Hey guys, Harry Thomas here, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another Disney top five list. I mean, and my first this month are my top five best Disney sequels, as requested by Frozen and Endgame. Yes, and Artemis Fowl and Hughes no. Thanks so much for the request, buddy. Uh, and After this top five list, I will review Cobra Kai as requested by Movies and Rankings with Reese, but it is far easier to make a top five worst Disney sequels than it is a top five best. But don't worry, I will make my worst list to rant about the pieces of garbage or worst Disney sequels in the near future. But for now, let's talk about the few glowing gems of the Disney sequel canon that do stand out and deserve a mention. So, without further ado, you want to know my top five best Disney sequels? Then just keep watching. At number five, sorry, Lion King 2 fans, I wanted that movie to make this list. It would be my number one honourable mention, but it occurred to me that I like Lion King 1.5 just a tad better. This is my favourite Lion King sequel, and I'm not embarrassed to admit that. So, yeah, this movie I think is fresher than the Lion King fandom says this is, and I don't I don't think it ruins iconic moments from the original by inserting put Pumbaa farcing at the Circle of Life scene at all. I I think it's funny. Half of this movie is showing Timon and Pumbaa's involvement in certain scenes from the original Lion King, which we were totally unaware of, and the other half is showing Timon and Pumbaa's origin story and how they became to be Disney's most favoured comedic duo, and their friendship in this movie is it adds even more heart and even more backstory and depth to them as characters than the original Lion King ever did. And and Julie Kavner, the voice of Marge Simpson, she plays one of maybe the greatest supporting character in a Disney sequel period as Timon's mother. And fun fact, another Simpsons voice actress, Nancy Cartwright, the voice of Bart, would voice Pumbaa Jr. in the Timon and Pumbaa TV show. So yeah. At number four, Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time. Yes, I never thought in 100 years that a Cinderella 3 could ever be this good or even make a top 5 best Disney sequel list. But Cinderella 3, yeah, is the best of the Disney Cinderella trilogy and the best Cinderella movie ever made. No contest. It has you wouldn't think it would have a story with higher stakes to it and a more engaging story than the original classic Cinderella, but that's exactly what it has, and it has a triple climax. So with a redemption arc for Anastasia, one of Cinderella's stepsisters, and it explains how she turns out good in the end and goes on to marry the baker in Cinderella 2 Dreams Come True. I mean, Cinderella 2 is perfectly decent. I don't think it's half as bad as everybody says it is, and both incredibly well animated that they make the original Cinderella look outdated. But A Twist in Time is certainly the more ambitious of the two Cinderella sequels, and it shows what happens if Cinderella, she didn't have the fairy godmothers, how what if in an alternative reality Cinderella could lose. I mean, number 3, the Disney Renaissance movie that everybody barely talks about, The Rescuers Down Under. While it was one of Disney's biggest box office bombs at the time, back in 1990, The Rescuers Down Under has gained one of the most surprisingly, you know, huge cult following over the years, and some people go as far as calling this one of the greatest Disney movies in general ever made, and this I I love both Rescuers movies equally. I mean the original Rescuers, of course, is I think has a little more heart, but this one is more epic in scope and does improve on the action adventure side. You know, I mean, I don't care that it doesn't have any songs. The songs weren't necessary. It's just, you know, it's a exhilarating adventure about Bianca and Bernard traveling to Australia, which is a extraordinary location for the Rescuers franchise to take, and Australia itself looks freaking gorgeous, and the and the flight sequences on Marahute, the Great Golden Eagle, are just are they have some of the most astonishing animation I've ever seen from Disney, and it Joanna would be my number 1 favorite character here. I mean, I, I mean, I just wanted to adopt her and take her away from that, you know, that awful McLeach poacher villain who. Why they never made a Rescuers 3, I do not know. At number 2, Return to Neverland, my personal favourite of all the Peter Pan movies, period. The octopus is a terrific change of adversary for Captain Hook. Captain Hook is even more devious and manipulative than he was in the original. Tinkerbell's Tinkerbell's light going out was just heart wrenching, and this movie it goes into darker territory than the original Peter Pan. You know, by having Jane, you know, be forced to grow up through World War II London, and how that has led to her, you know, outgrowing her mother's stories about Peter Pan. Jane herself, I think, is a more compelling protagonist than her mother Wendy ever was, and I love how it took more time for Jane to realise and accept that, you know, it's okay to believe in Peter Pan and in the things you love, and because you know, her stories give us hope through hard times. And this movie was my favourite Disney sequel for 17 years. However, it has now been dethroned by one. And my number 1 favourite Disney sequel of all time is, yes, you guessed it, you saw it coming, Frozen 2. Sorry, Ralph breaks the internet. You were an improvement over Wreck-It Ralph, but you can't hold a candle to Frozen 2. Not a chance. One of the only Disney sequels that deserved a cinematic. One of the only Disney sequels that deserved a cinematic release. It gave me everything I wanted to see in the first Frozen movie, which I didn't get in that movie. I mean, what more screen time with Elsa and Anna as sisters? You know, Olaf, you know, was legitimately charming this time, and God, his death scene is now on my top 10 most tear-jerky Disney moments, and even Kristoff was utilised better this time. There are a dozen men out there that can relate to Kristoff's struggle to propose to Anna, and every time it goes wrong, and he even gets a song himself. Yet, in fact, every character gets a spotlight song, especially Elsa, with not 1 but 2 you know, smash hit songs, Into the Unknown and Show Yourself. Anna getting her best song, the next right thing, and uh, uh, and just the enchanted forest and the spirits of the enchanted forest, you know, and how and how the and how they represented, you know, the elements of the earth, like in Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's mind-blowingly good a world building for the Frozen universe, and yeah, Fro and Frozen 2's ending is a Disney ending that made me cry, in which I haven't cried at the ending of a Disney movie in a long time, and uh, and I'm all for a Frozen 3 if Disney's interested, and so yeah, I'm proud to call Frozen 2 the #1 best Disney sequel. That was my top 5 favourite Disney sequels, and the only Disney sequels that I want right now are Frozen 3 and Incredibles 3. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this top 5 list. And what are your top 5 favourite Disney sequels? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. But please follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. And I'll see you next time when I review Cobra Kai. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.